Matrix, Willie Miranda.
And welcome to the Paradigm Matrix with my guest, Fred Richards. Fred, how are you?
I'm doing phenomenal, Willie. It's a nice warm summer night.
Yes, it sure is comfortable out there. 75 last time I checked.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it is. It is. Instead
It's
of getting
better than last summer. It was brutal.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And Europe got hit this year pretty hard also.
Right.
They had more deaths concerning heat-related deaths than we had here gun violence.
I wasn't aware of that.
Deaths from gun violence were eclipsed by the death toll of heat exhaustion or heat-related deaths in Europe.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. We were talking about this disclosure and disclosure movement, and last time we had spoken, an episode 001, we touched base on the disclosure. I haven't seen that movie yet.
I haven't either. I've been told that it's good, but I've also been told that it's not good. I'll see it. I don't know when, but I'll see it.
There hasn't been nothing positive that I've heard. It's been pretty not very impressive, lame. Really attacking somewhat religion. Okay, but I haven't seen it either, so I guess I'll make an opinion when I watch it.
Well, it's kind of hard for him to compete with his other alien type films, right? Close Encounters is a classic. E.T. basically is a children's movie, but it's a classic. So why wouldn't you kind of go along that theme to this Disclosure Day, where this, I don't know much about it other than this news person is speaking in a different language, and I just,
Yeah, those previews that they gave were pretty much almost gave the premise of the movie. Not so much as the premise, but maybe some of the good meat on it,
The previews didn't make me want to see it. They didn't offer anything to me like, oh boy, I got to get there.
They didn't pull you in?
They did not. To be right, it's hard to pull somebody in when there are other great films, and it just doesn't seem to. I don't know if it just captures people's imagination. I don't know. I like I said, I haven't seen it. I'll see it, and maybe I'll love it. I don't know. I know people do love it. People have been telling me though that I need to see it. So, but I'll see it.
Oh yeah. Now again, you have been monitoring the releases of this information that's been coming out. From
I've been looking at it, and I posted. Did you see the thing that I sent you?
Yes.
That was probably the most compelling thing that I've seen in the reports. There's a lot of stills that look, oh, here's a dot with a grid line. I'm like, what does that mean? This is supposed to be, this is the UAP reports, but that doesn't show me anything. I'm fairly certain I could create that same image with anything in the sky.
That first one you sent me looked like those small robots on that ill-fated Disney movie, The Black Hole.
That one weird craft. I don't know if that's from the report. I can't find it in the reports, but people are reporting. Well, this is the alien craft, and it looks like somebody took a bunch of stuff from a closet and slapped it together and just took a picture of it
On a wet vacuum
cleaner.
You know, a wet and dry vacuum cleaner, those industrial ones. You know,
Yeah,
that's what they look.
it's hard to take it serious.
No, it is. It is. The video that you had sent me almost looked like the Aguadilla Homeland Security video there.
Right.
Where,
I mean, it showed 3 craft, which they look like boats to me.
mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell in that image.
Yeah, it was on that FLIR type.
Right. It looked like 3 crafts, and then that one just blew past them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a kind of a triangle shaped, which people have reported seeing in the past.
Yeah, nothing spectacular. You know, and I've been reading that the president has basically done away with the non-disclosure. You know, like,
Right.
you know, he's just basically inviting anybody who has signed a non-disclosure to, you know, go ahead and talk.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of charlatans that will try to make a name for themselves.
I mean, they're doing it right now.
Oh yeah, but
I mean, there's a lot of these.
there'll be a lot more will come out.
Oh yeah, you know, but there's a lot of people who are doing shows who are basically saying, you know, well, I've got a source and I got secret information, you know, and I got classified information. Really?
Yeah.
You got classified information?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Third party classified
Yeah,
information.
well, you know, it's the same story, you know, with some of these individuals who claim to have briefed people in the White House, you know, briefed high-ranking government officials.
I think I know who you're talking about. And the reports that come out from the White House is like, yeah, we've never talked to this guy.
Yeah, we don't know that guy. Who the hell is he?
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah. You know, and again, and people are just gonna gravitate to that, and they're gonna, you know, hey, you know, it sells tickets, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it brings in the clicks, you know. I mean, it does.
Not from me.
No. Not for me either.
'Cause, you know, I'm not one. Ooh, you know, I've seen this hidden footage, and I'm going to talk about it next week. Be sure to tune in. And then you tune in, and they have nothing to say.
Join my Patreon.
Yeah, I can only tell you if you join my Patreon.
Yeah. You know, and again, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you know, these people are out there and they're capitalizing on the moment. You know, and I'll tell you this, Fred. A year from now, we're going to have this conversation, and where is this at? Because I remember when...
We've had this conversation.
Yes, of course. And we've had the, you know, remember the days when the Academy to the Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
If just for one low price, you can be with us.
You know, it's not like some of these individuals didn't make enough working in the government. You know, and they got pretty much a guaranteed pension. You know, but now they're...
What happened to Galaxy of the Stars?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
It's an afterthought now.
Yeah,
it really is.
To be fair, I don't think I knew anybody that joined it.
I didn't either, so... I mean,
right. They want to share the information, but for a price.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Of course. Of course.
No, thanks.
You know, it's the same, like these snake oil salesmen, you know, that we talk about, you know, these guys with the Jedi mind tricks, you know, and smoking mirrors, you know.
Right? For one low price, I can guarantee you'll see a UFO.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You have $5,000 fee for one of these sessions. Get a QT certificate.
Yeah.
You know, hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
But all the good sightings that I've ever talked to anybody it just kind of happened organically, you know?
Yeah.
And usually they were by themselves.
You know, we weren't calling out for them, that's for sure.
Right. Well, I had my my $300 alien calling flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
My laser.
Yeah.
My laser pointer. You know.
The
You know,
night vision.
it's not
The
that we're
night
making,
vision.
Yeah. It's not that we're
People.
making fun of anybody like this, you know what I mean? But
I'm not trying to
there's
make fun of anybody either.
there's people out there that are like that, you know,
But
especially in this, they've been out there in this field.
But the night vision is so unreliable because a lot of what people see are insects.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but it's been proven.
Correct.
That doesn't mean that I wouldn't mind trying it. But I'm not going to pay somebody to go somewhere to do that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It just doesn't interest me.
No. You know, I'm very skeptical with all that anyway. I mean, many years ago when these people started hitting the scenes, you know, that was very popular and everybody was jumping on the bandwagon and in the latest craze. But as the years have gone by, you know, history has a way of, you know, doing these funny things, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, these things really start unraveling, you know? You know, just like the Academy to the Stars, you know, just like these, I mean, where are a lot of these whistleblowers now? You know, there's been so many, I can't keep count.
No, we get a new one every year.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's even less now. It's even less now. It really is. You know, and I've been one that I've been sticking more to the experience or abduction phenomenon. You know, the cryptid side has been pretty, you know, there's been a lot of sightings in that part, you know, and there's many camps that are always switching sides. You know, remember,
Right.
I don't know if you remember our first conference in Leominster. There was
I didn't attend the first one.
I believe it was the second. It was either the first or the second one. And there was two camps in the cryptid side that were really against each other, you know, in views, you know. Until we had to basically let them know that, hey, you know, we're in the same building here, you know.
I might not have been at that one either.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, you know. It was very, very interesting.
To be fair, right? I had never been to a UFO conference, and then you know, it's like somehow read it in the paper. I was like, "What is this?" Right? I'd been investigating for MUFON for a while, and I had heard some of the names of the people that were speaking, but I didn't really know them, other than I'd see them on TV or once in a while. But then I came down, and I gotta tell you, it was a pretty fun time. I was expecting to just be, you know, sit in the audience and leave at the end of the day. Boy, the world had had a different view for me.
Yeah, I was kind of in the background, so I wasn't backstage, you know, or
Right, but
in the back of the scenes, and so I was a little privy to see what was going on, you know.
I gotcha. And then I started talking with you, right? And it's like, who's this guy? This guy's all right.
Oh yeah, I try to be accessible. You know what I mean?
You're very cordial to everybody.
Yeah,
very cordial to the people that were there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You know, they were there for a. Hey, listen. I mean, they were paying customers. You know.
Right.
They were paying customers, so. I mean, you gotta have an enjoyable experience.
Right, and I made friends with people in the audience too. But I also had some very odd conversations with people in the audience.
No, I hear you. You know, I did too, and I had some interesting questions that I'll never forget to this day. I'll never forget. One thing's for sure. We are a go for the Greater New England Bigfoot conference, which is going to be in Westford,
Yeah.
Massachusetts. 14 years.
I wasn't able to go last year because I was doing something else.
Yeah.
But I'll be there this year.
I believe Jimmy Patino's going to be there.
Sure is.
And I'm going to be speaking also.
Do you know if who else is going to be? I know she hasn't finished the list.
Yeah, offhand, I was there this morning and I couldn't get a lot of the names, so I told them to write them down, and also write down last year's and just the history, because I was down there shooting some B-roll, and I had taken my drone over there, taken some shots and some video, and we did run a little bit of a commercial. But other than that, it's going to be a pretty good, it should be a good conference. Hopefully we'll get good weather. It's going to be outdoors.
Right, it's going to be one day.
Yep, one day only.
Yep.
One day only. It's going to be intimate, setting. It's not going to be in Leominster City Hall as previously, or the Veterans Center. So it's going to be a more intimate setting.
You'll be able to talk face to face to the speakers.
Yes.
It won't be. They won't be putting it behind a partition. You have to pay to speak to them. They'll be there to talk.
Oh yeah. We'll be up in the stage, we'll be accessible, with security and all that, And,
You're gonna bring your own security? Your little puppy? Your little dog?
Yeah. I'll bring my 4-pound Yorkie with me. Well, they showing her little chiclets, But, again, going back to that, the disclosure movement, that's been going on right now, and it's talking to Dr. Heather Lind about 2 or 3 days ago. We were talking about it. Just for the simple fact that because I saw something somewhere where Dr. Phil now is involved.
Of course he is.
Which is, and she had coined a name. She says, it's so commercialized right now.
When is that guy with My Pillow going to be involved?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Bring him along too.
Mike Modell.
Yeah, bring him along. Why not?
It's
anything for a buck.
And you brought a good point, and that's what it looks like right now. It really looks like it's all commercialization. I'm waiting for the magnets to come out, and we'll see some type of thing made in China, some trinket made in China with disclosure on it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's being sold somewhere. And it's nothing that I have. It's not that I have anything against disclosure, and you don't either. And a lot of the topics, listen, when you're talking about this topic and it's being spoken about in the major news networks, the propaganda networks, as I call them, okay, it's getting the word out there, it's getting more mainstream, but it also looks and it feels more commercialized now,
Oh, of course. It's hard to swallow what's being put out. Like I said, I've looked at some of those reports. I've looked at the pictures, and I just haven't seen anything compelling except for that one that I shared with you. That was the most compelling thing I could find.
Yeah, that goes for me too. I just haven't seen anything that's going to grab me.
No, everybody's made a big deal about there's going to release some new photo. When? What? Everything that they've shown looks like a copy of something they've already shown.
And I believe the expectations are very high also. They've always been high. The expectations are very, very high for this. And, I had a interesting conversation with Roy Teague, who's an inspector in the British police forces. And, of course, he wrote a book called Close Encounters of the Police Kind.
Right.
And this gentleman, he's basically been given a hard time, He is getting pushed back from his superiors, because he wrote this book and they want nothing to do with the subject, whether they believe it or not. And also, he has spoken and reached out to, while researching for the book, to many who are retired officers or current. Some of them didn't want to mention their names. Some did. And in this day and age, okay, in the 21st century, Fred, you would think that somebody wouldn't be giving this type of pushback to another, sworn officer. Okay.
Of course.
And they're giving them pushback. And it's this gentleman had served. He served in the British Army. He was deployed to I believe Kosovo. Okay, so and all that during that peacekeeping situation, back in the 90s, I believe, and and of course, it's you think over here we're going, hey, this, these guys are protected, the whistleblowers, and here's somebody who's doing some something that's very basic, something that was put in a report. Okay.
Oh, there's plenty of compelling data. There's something going on. There's plenty of it. I mean, one of the first cases I ever worked was from an airline pilot. Well, he was a cargo plane pilot for one of the services. Mm-hmm. And he reported that he had seen a craft coming right towards his plane, much like a lot of reports that you've heard or read about. And he was kind of scared to tell me about it. And I have no reason to doubt this man whatsoever. There's plenty of compelling data, but we keep getting the same hogwash from the same people.
Well, yeah. And the expectations, and when I say the expectations are high, they want to see these, high definition photos. They want to see these reports, okay, these detailed reports. All right. I don't think they're going to be put out there.
I don't think so either.
They're not.
But there's plenty of true stories being told already that these photos from the government are not going to compel anybody to believe anything. There's plenty of data. There's plenty of people telling their stories.
Yeah, again, we talk about it like it's a psyop,
Right. it's like you mentioned, like the experiencers. There are plenty of people who have compelling stories of what happened to them, and there's like half the camp that's like, well, that couldn't happen. And it's crazy.
Of course. What does that individual have to gain?
Right?
I mean,
ridicule? Everybody signs up for that, Willie.
Well, yeah. I mean, we know plenty of people who have written some good books.
Right.
They're struggling out there to sell those books.
Right.
It's, again, you go back to the individual, and who that person is, and of course, and what are they gaining from it? A lot of these people still have full-time jobs.
They have to. They've got to eat.
They got to eat.
Right.
And of course, people think, oh, he's going to be making a whole bunch of money.
Right. This isn't the field to make a whole ton of money.
Oh, no. If you're in this field to get rich, you're the ones that are making a good living, they're lying off their pants.
Right. If you want to become famous in this field, you better learn to sing and dance as well.
Yep.
Because telling your story, there's only so many buyers.
So true.
Right. And a lot of these big events, these big national conferences, where you can't even get close to the speakers, and the people are paid big money to hear these people talk, and they're not telling anything special whatsoever. A lot of them are telling other people's stories.
Yes, which has happened a lot.
Right? The people making money are telling other people's stories, not their own. People who tell their own stories, they're struggling. because they're not showmen. They're just witnesses and trying to relay the messages.
Yes. You and I have spoken to many of them.
Right.
You know, and it's, again, you and I do this because of a passion. You know, in no way we're making anything out of this.
Yeah,
You know, it is a bit time consuming also. You know, you know
right.
that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to finish 3 cases before the end of the day. I may have got them done. I mean, they were okay cases. I mean, a craft, I had to close them as unknown because I couldn't find any data to prove that it was something else.
And that's what's going to happen.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen. And again, you ran into this, and I've run into this, where as much as you tell them that it was a plane.
Oh.
No.
It's like Starlink. Starlink's a big one.
Oh, yeah. I have many photos years ago with same thing. Some friend of mine would send me Starlink. And they would say, you know, what is this?
Right. I've seen 30 UFOs.
Yep.
Well,
it's a fleet.
Yeah. A fleet of them attack.
Yeah.
And then you try to tell them it's what it is. It's like, it's amazing. What you saw something in space. That's amazing enough. Right?
Yep.
I mean, there's all kinds of programs. If people knew how many satellites are flying overhead.
Oh, yeah, there's an app. There's an app where it'll tell you.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
As a matter of fact, I downloaded a good flight tracking app that is, I mean, it basically shows it like when it's taxiing off the airport, you know, going into the runway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I use that for my research.
So good now. Yeah.
I mean, I have to use those, you know, if somebody reports something, this wasn't an airplane, right? It's a great tool.
Yes. Yes.
There's a lot of great tools if people wanted to start doing their own research.
Yeah, in this day and age, you got to use the technology.
Well, that's all we got.
You know, unfortunately, you know, this is the kind of stuff that we run into. You know, because of course, you know, like yourself, I've had many people come to me saying, "What do you think of this?" You know, and it's, oh yeah. I mean, it's some of the stuff. Of course, I shared a photo with you of a contractor who approached me after he found out that I did a radio show on this subject, flying over Utah.
Right.
And he happened to catch something out of his window, and he grabbed his iPhone and he zoomed in. And I don't know if we spoke about it before on any of maybe in the first show we did, but it's like a V-shaped object.
Right.
Like
I remember.
And it's slanted. I sent you the photos, and I said, I mean, blow them up. I mean, it's very, very strange, and to be up, what, 40,000 feet up.
It's like people have shared, like experience have shared the marks on their body photos with me, where they glow in the dark, right, with a ultraviolet light. That's not normal.
No, it isn't. I shared one with you, which is very personal.
I agree. That was a very, very strange. I don't know. I don't know what that was. I couldn't find anybody that could give me an opinion other than that's weird.
Interesting enough, I shared the photo with Mr. Matt Moniz.
Okay.
Who's an experiencer. And he said, oh yeah, I got that exact same mark right now.
Really?
And he went out, took a photo of it, came back.
Oh.
And
so you saw his photo. I didn't see his photo. So was it the same photo?
I actually saw. He said, you know what? I'll do you better. I'll show it to you. And so he showed me, and it was just like
the one that you sent me.
Yes.
I did not know
Yes.
that. That's crazy.
Which is, to describe it, it's almost like what was the inoculation that was done in the 50s? I'm not sure if it was.
I know what you're talking about. I think it was smallpox that was put on people's
Smallpox,
arms
yeah, yes,
and
it
left
like
us
a circle.
and left a scar for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it was a permanent scar.
I didn't get
Mhm.
one. I was in the cutoff. It stopped like the year before I was going to get it.
Lucky us.
Yeah.
Lucky us.
But I remember
You
my
know,
brothers and sisters, right? They had to wear like a shield over the thing,
oh yeah.
over
It's like
the wound. I mean, it led like a bleeding wound.
it takes a piece of your arm, in
Yeah.
that area. It looks like, it looks like it tears up. It'll leave you a scar for life.
Right. And that photo you shared with me looked very similar.
Very similar to that. Very similar. And and those to me, Fred, are those moments where you say, I have enough here. That is disclosure for me.
Right.
I don't need it to come from the government.
Because it's a
We've been
personal
talking about
event.
it. We've been talking about it for 15, 20 years. Believing in it most of our lifetime.
Right.
So I don't need no disclosure from some government entity, whoever it is, whatever administration, whatever political party wants to be the first in line,
Especially the way they're going about it now. Just.
Oh yeah. Agreed. So again, those type of cases, those type of photos that are presented to us, from somebody who's really got nothing to gain. Okay. As a matter of fact, that photo with the mark in the arm, does not want to talk.
A lot of people are scared about it.
Yeah, the person does not want to talk about it. You can't convince them. Cannot convince them to talk about it.
That's a scary thing.
Well, yeah. So again,
a lot of experienced won't talk. They're not comfortable enough to tell you their story.
No, not at all. Not at all. So
right, they don't want
to. I happen to. The way that I was approached by that was just, have you ever seen something like this? Because I keep getting this.
That's the key word.
Particular areas.
Keep getting this.
Yeah, in the shoulder and in the sternum area. And it's, I immediately, of course, I'm gonna, share these in the conference. I'm not gonna mention names.
Right.
But I will share them. It's been about two years now, I believe, a year or two that we spoke about this. You were one of the first people that I approached. And I said, do me a favor. This is what's going on, and find out if anybody has seen any of this. And you got back to me and said, no. We haven't seen anything like this. Strange enough, Fred, I went online. I used that feature on the Samsung Galaxy where you could just hold the photo, hold the home button, circle it, it'll do a search. It came back with some hits.
Interesting.
Like something similar. And I backed off, I went back again, I could not find that image. There was 3 images and I couldn't find them.
Interesting.
Speaking with Mary Joyce, and we talk about the NASA disclosures, okay? I don't know if you remember Mary Joyce.
Yes.
I had her several times, and we were doing on the Paradigm Matrix in KCOR. And she said, whenever you approach this, Willie, or encounter this, print print it out or take a screenshot of it, because these things will disappear. You know, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, okay, or anything like that. But, you know, it does happen.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree.
It does happen.
But speaking of right, NASA, right? There's reports from astronauts reporting things, and you know, nobody seems to take that serious.
No. No, not at all.
Right? These were highly respected men. You know, back in the Mercury and Apollo times, right?
Just the best of the best.
Right? And now people, I mean, a few people talk about it, but then, you know, then you got the same people, oh, we didn't go to the moon. I can't listen to that argument. If somebody stops and talks to me about that, I'm like, dude, I don't have time.
There's so many counter arguments against that. One that I use is the Cold War.
Yeah.
You know, and the Russians were monitoring the program.
They would have blown the whistle on us immediately.
You and I, you know, Generation Xers, you know, it's just one thing to try to explain the new generation about what was the Cold War like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It was just a constant threat of nuclear exchange, you know, of basically, you know, one day waking up and, you know, waking up to sirens, you know, waking up to, you know, just the whole world crumbling around you, you know. And you see those films from the 50s and 60s where the school children are just, you know, they're being told duck and
cover, right? Because you'll be safe under that little desk.
Yeah. And you remember, Fred, back in, I believe it started out, the movement really picked up around 78, 79, where, you know, you had, you know, the Phil Donahue show and many of these, you know, where people were just, you know, really pushing for the some type of treaty, you know, because,
right.
You know, the nuclear clock there was just a countdown, was like in minutes, you know.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be some type of an exchange.
Total annihilation of the planet.
Correct, between, you know, the world superpowers, you know, back then, you know, the United States and the Soviet Union. So, you know, it's what was that movie there? The
Day After Tomorrow.
The Day After Tomorrow.
Right, where we were attacked, right, and it destroyed everything. Right,
that
just like
City.
Yeah,
it was in Kansas City with that.
Just to scare us, right? Scared us as kids.
Yeah, I mean, it did the job. Listen, it did the job. I mean, it started bringing that subject to the forefront, you know. And back then, Fred, there wasn't the amount of information accessibility that we have now.
Right.
You know, where, you know, just back then, I think it was a network television event.
Oh, it was big. I remember going to school the next day. Everybody was talking. I think it was like a 2-nighter, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right. You know, I remember just being very surreal in a way. You know, you could just tell that the air was different. You know, that there was going to be some type of change. You know, it was huge. It was huge.
Well, where I grew up in the Adirondacks, my uncle used to drive us around and show us where they used to have missile silos back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And as a young kid, we're like, "What are you talking about? Missile silos?" Right? And then you get old enough, and you're like, "Holy crap!"
Oh yeah.
We had that stuff in our backyard because we used to have a big SAC base, right? Those planes flying 24 hours a day, loaded to the gilt.
Yep. B-52s.
Yeah, B-1s, all that. They'd be right. Yeah. What was that movie with Peter Sellers? Dr. Strangelove.
Yes, Dr. Strangelove. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was like They were really doing that, flying those bombers 24/7.
24/7. As a matter of fact, that's why they wanted to develop that nuclear bomber, that nuclear-powered bomber,
Right?
so it could stay in the air longer. Okay? And as a matter of fact, I believe our good friend Stanton Friedman worked on some of those projects.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he did.
But then you didn't remember when they threatened us with the neutron bomb?
Yes, the one that was going to leave the buildings and everything intact.
Right. We're just going to kill the people.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
they threw that down our throats.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it was different times. It really was.
Yeah.
In our childhood, it was very different. And of course, some of the UFO reports that were trickling in, back then we were watching a show called In Search of.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it's still one of these shows. It's almost like Emergency, okay?
Right.
Where it's one of these few shows that really captivate you, and just.
That sucks you in.
Oh yeah.
That's where most of us got our interest in all this. I have the box set of all of them. And I'll sit and watch like 4 or 5 episodes in a row, even though I've seen them all.
You told me that. I'm gonna have to look for that box set and see if I can purchase it.
I mean, it's amazing when you think about it.
Yes.
I mean, not every episode is gold. I mean, the later seasons. In Search of was really in search of something weird, right? It was just kind of global storms, high winds, right? That kind of stuff. But it's the UFO, the Bigfoot, like the ghost episodes. Those are amazing.
Amelia Earhart.
Right. Everybody thinks right. And everybody thinks she was alone. She had a navigator. No one ever talks about that dude that disappeared with her.
Newman. He was probably the best navigator of his time.
Nobody talks about that dude. He's gone too.
Yep.
And just her. Like she was alone.
His problem was that he liked the bottle a little bit too much. But he was probably the best navigator of his time.
Yeah. But no one ever talks about him.
No, that it's gonna, she's squarely the center of attention.
Right.
And of course, it's one of these mysteries that hasn't been solved yet. You think that it would be solved,
right. It's kind of like Flight 19.
Yeah,
they've never found them. They've never found those airplanes.
Nope. Which was another one that was discussed, I believe, in Search of.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, look at the mystery now with the Malaysian.
What happened to that? Right, with all the sonar and everything that searches the oceans.
With all the technology.
You think you'd be able to find something? I think it was taken.
Wasn't a small plane either.
I think it was taken and landed somewhere.
Well, again, it hasn't been found, so all kind of speculation is always going to be. It's always going to be there.
Right.
It's always going to be there. I mean, where it was taken, whether it was. I believe there was a gentleman who says that it was. I believe transported somewhere. There's a gentleman out there who claims where. I don't have the guy's name, but he says that it basically got transported, it was taken out in mid-flight.
Interesting.
A 777 now, okay?
Right. That's a big plane.
One of the biggest commercial airplanes in the world.
They weren't even flying over the Bermuda Triangle.
No, they were keeping away from that place.
Right.
I remember flying from Puerto Rico to Chicago or to Boston. That would kind of freak me out.
Right. Well,
as a kid.
Well, being in the Navy, we used to sail through there all the time, right?
No big deal, right?
It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun knowing that, because growing up, then they threatened us with that. And it was one of the threats as a kid, right? The Devil's Triangle. It wasn't Bermuda.
The Devil's Triangle.
The Devil's Triangle.
Devil's Triangle.
where planes and ships just disappeared.
Yeah.
And I was on a ship with 6,000 dudes. I mean, if we disappear, someone's going to notice.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a big ocean.
Yeah?
It's a big ocean. Flight 19, where is it?
I'm fairly certain we know more about space than we do the ocean.
Yep, that is true. That is true. But then again, somebody would sell you a bridge to nowhere and people would buy it. Look at that Titans. Look at that Titan submersible.
Oof. That was brutal.
Okay.
That was a brutal situation. I mean, that kid didn't even want to go. That was in there. He had no interest in doing that. They drug him. They made him do it.
Did you ever see how they controlled that craft?
Yeah. It was like a Nintendo controller or something.
Yeah. And that wasn't his maiden. I mean, that had gone down there several times. And nothing happened.
Well, I mean, the integrity of that hull is only so, right?
Yeah. It was just
so good.
Decompressing.
I mean, it's not a Navy submarine that's tested, and those submarines. Our submarines, they X-ray the hulls to make sure there's no cracks, right? After a deployment, they're not taking any risks with that.
No, not at all.
I mean, these guys just like, looks good to me.
It's amazing, But again, it was a
sad.
People will try to sell you a bridge nowhere, and they will. And there'll be buyers lined up.
Yeah.
Again.
Go see the Titanic. Okay. Do you already have pictures of it? I'll take a look at that. Thanks.
Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of video of that. You don't have to convince me.
Yeah, it's still down there.
I've seen the movie also.
Still down there.
Still down there. That's right. Remember that movie, Raise the Titanic? Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? A Poseidon Adventure?
Hey, Poseidon Adventure is a great popcorn movie.
Yeah. And we were kids that used to give those airport or airplane disaster movies, Airport 77.
Oh, and they'd have Earthquake. And every movie and TV star was in it.
Oh, yeah. It was a complete lineup.
Oh yeah, and
without a doubt.
And the stories were just ugh.
Oh yeah, cheesy as.
Well, do you remember The Swarm?
Yes.
The Killer Bee movie.
Yes.
And
I believe
that was so bad.
Around. I remember it was a big deal back then when the Africanized bees. Were making their way up.
I remember I read a book about them back in the day. I forget what year it was. They were supposed to take over the country. Yes.
They're already up here, I believe.
Yeah, but they're not causing problems.
Well, but they intermix, with the other bees, and then of course, they're gonna. Everybody made a real big deal about this, I remember as a kid, when they were telling us, there was only 30 years left of oil.
Right.
Ran out of all the dinosaur decomposition.
Right, but now the theory is that's not fossil fuel. What is fossil fuel? Right, it actually is a renewable resource within the earth. It's not dinosaurs.
Yeah, many years ago, I was watching something on one of the Aramco, I believe it is, one of the Arab oil companies. They were showing a well that had dried up, and I believe it was 10 years later they went back to that well, and they were able to pull oil out of it again.
Right. I just think about it. Right, fossil. How many fossils would I have to have decayed to be that deep in the ground? To be that deep?
Not enough.
Right.
There's not enough. Especially when they're talking about the extinction events that happen here to the planet. Where the planet basically got cooked. Okay.
Right.
Cooked. And I mean, again, I think some of these things are just have been a lot of propaganda. You know, just a lot of propaganda, which is still going on to this day.
I know, it's just the way it is.
It is, Fred. It is.
Right.
You know, it is.
It's every few years there's something, right? Remember during COVID, it was what was it? The hornets.
Yes, the Japanese ones there.
Yeah, the giant hornets that were going to come
The
to the
giant
United.
hornets.
Yeah, I forget what they were
Yeah.
called. Murder hornets.
Yeah, the murder hornets.
Right. Remember that? Remember we were
Yeah.
supposed to be. They were
Yeah.
supposed to put the fear in us.
Of course.
I never heard anything about it.
And it's fear and division. It's fear and division. Look at
Yeah.
COVID. Perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I had Commander Cobra on. We were talking about it when you would think you would see the day where neighbors were telling our neighbors, family members were ratting out other family members. He's not vaxxed.
Right.
He's not wearing a mask.
Okay. Speaking of that, remember the toilet paper went off the shelves?
Oh, yeah.
Right? But now you got this killer lettuce that's making people, with explosive diarrhea, and there's no shortage of toilet paper.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Right?
Oh,
You'd
yeah.
think that'd be the thing that you would go for.
You know, so again, Fred, we're going to have this conversation again 2027, and we're going to see where we are with disclosure.
Oh, I'm sure
Where
we
does it
will.
stand?
Well, we'll have this conversation in next month.
Oh, yeah, when we see each other.
Yeah. God only
Agreed on
knows
you and your
where we're going to
circumstances.
go. It'll be too bad that there will be none of this will be available, because we're going to go places that nobody even knows when we start talking to each other with all the weird stuff that we've seen.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's a lot of talk about it right now with AI, which has been so saturated, you know. Almost like Y2K. Remember Y2K?
Right. I mean, AI is a great tool, but it's a tool.
Well, it is.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't have an original thought. It's only as good as the data you put in it. It's just a computer program.
Yeah. For now, until somebody just, you know, of course, you know, if something changes. But in the meantime, I mean, I guess a lot of people like us and everybody else are having fun doing memes on it.
Oh, this is all it's good for me. I mean, I use it for work when I have, serious work questions. But, I mean, the data is only as good as what's on the internet.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I just can't run with it. I gotta double check it.
Yeah, so true. That's right. It's not even trust and verify. It's just verify.
Yeah, people just, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
All right. People are using it to make music or that they call music.
Yeah, I believe in iTunes. There's one gentleman who has, I believe, the top records in iTunes. They're all AI.
No. I'm not listening to it.
I'm pretty sure you probably listened to some already and you didn't even know. Because let me tell you something, Fred. I went into some of the comments and I was blown away. Some of the comments were like, this particular artist, he's like a blues artist, and people think that he's real, that the band is real. And there were people saying, oh, he's so good. I can't wait till the tickets go on sale. I want to see him in concert.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And then somebody with the comments is going, yeah, good luck with that. It's AI. You know, but it's so good. As a matter of fact, Dan Seal, who is the producer who I hired to commission my intro and outro music for the Paradigm Matrix. He's a legit record producer, okay? Recording artist. Berkeley Music School graduate. And I played some of the stuff for him, and he's like, yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you could tell, in the beginning you could tell that it was AI, but now it's getting better and better.
But it's too good.
Yeah,
I like my musicians that are a little sloppy. That you can hear the imperfections on the record.
Of course.
That's what gives it the heart. There's no heart in that AI.
But I still like to hear the crackle.
Exactly.
You know, that crackle,
right.
You know that from the LP. So again, but this stuff for the people who don't know, that's what we're talking about. It's people are just blown away with it, and of course I think it's real. Sooner or later you're gonna have I think there is a full-blown movie right now that's all AI. And hell, they brought Carrie Fisher back in some of the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, well, that first one that she was back, it wasn't great.
Oh no, of course not. But again, this is the type of technology that's out there, and hell, you listen to that Art Bell interview where it was all AI.
Yeah,
and there's and you could tell on that one because it was a little quick. It was just a little fast. It was a faster pace than what he usually would do, But it was amazing.
There's a channel. Yeah, there's a channel on TuneIn or something.
Yes.
And they play like all the old shows.
Yes.
But they're doing the AI of him introducing all these old shows, and it just sounds so weird. It's like so disrespectful to art, right? Yep. The godfather of all the weirdness, right? So disrespectful.
Yeah, without doubt. And again, it's just the times are changing, Fred, and we just have to, change with them. The world around us just keeps, we're saying to ourselves, what's next?
Right.
What's next? But I'm interested in, having this conversation in a year from now and watching and seeing where this goes.
Right. Well,
where this whole disclosure movement, where it's, of course, you got so many camps and people saying, it's going to be an invasion, it's all this other stuff. You heard it.
Oh, of course. Well, there was supposed to be a big sighting during the soccer games. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
If they're going to do disclosure, I want to hear what the government has regarding the experiencers.
Oh yeah.
What data do they have? What have they have compiled on that?
Mm-hmm.
With the abduction phenomena?
And again, bringing back my last guest on episode 12. Inspector Roy Teague, and we were talking about that, saying the government's never going to admit to it.
Well,
none of the world governments are ever going to admit to it.
Remember,
you know how many lawsuits are going to be generated? The distrust, the total distrust. If you think there's a distrust now with politicians and government in general, it will lose all credibility. We're worse now.
Remember our good friend Paulino talking about on some investigations that he was on, military people were around.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he always said that the military wants to be able to control what we're all known as the paranormal. Right? There's something about it that they want to control, something phenomena that's within that.
Yes. And of course, Skinwalker Ranch is not the only one.
No, it's plenty.
There are plenty of them. As a matter of fact, Paul had a huge experience in one of them, and it was in Pennsylvania.
Right.
I did a show on it.
That was amazing.
It was Alexander Petikoff. It was Shane Surway, and of course, Paulino saw that craft. As a matter of fact, took a video of it probably one of the most compelling videos out there.
Right. And
what happened to that?
Nobody's seen it except us. It should be on. That should be part of the disclosure. Or what about the phenomena with the trumpet they heard from this, right? Remember that?
Correct.
Remember that phenomena that you never hear about it.
And one more thing, he had a Bigfoot sighting in the same place.
Right. It's right. It was so bizarre.
I never gotten that, and I did have a show on it, and I mean, it's probably one of these things that I'm gonna again touch base on. I believe I might have the photos. There is a video of it, I think, also.
I've seen the video.
Yes, and I think I might have a copy of that somewhere. So I gotta look in my archives. But I really want to bring the folks who were on that site, that night.
I got you. That would be a great show, Willie.
Yeah, unfortunately, Paul is not here.
Unfortunately,
not with us here.
Was Mark there? I don't think he was there that time.
No, he missed going there. I believe he missed going there. So it was Alexander Petikoff, Shane Sarway, and Alexander is a documentary filmmaker.
Hey, he's awesome.
So, again, I believe he brought something up with it on Small Town Monsters. Maybe. I just didn't see the traction, which is a story that I think should have just taken off.
Right.
Well, and again, I'm just a little bit kind of disappointed in a way that, and I don't care who gets credit for it and like that. I mean, I'm not, it just is a credible story.
Right.
When you got video,
right,
and corroborated by,
and it's by people that I trust. By people I actually
that we trust.
Exactly.
That we trust.
We trust these people.
Yes. Yes.
And it should have been a bigger deal than it was.
Yeah. Listen, Fred. How can you be contacted? Because I'm pretty sure people will like to,
Well, I do have a Facebook. It's called UFO Fred. It's mostly joke stuff, but they can find me there and send me a message through the messenger on Facebook.
Well, you still are the stake director.
I am. For Maine.
For MUFON, State of Maine.
State of Maine. Great state of Maine.
Land.
Great state of Maine.
Land. That's right. That's right. Right, my friend. We're going to see each other again.
In a couple weeks.
At the, August 29th.
Right.
Yep. Greater New England UFO and Bigfoot Conference.
Yeah, I'm willing to. I'm waiting to see who else is going to be there for speaking. Because I know she's thrown. I've seen thrown some names around, but it wasn't finalized last time I knew.
Yep. Unfortunately, I was there this morning, shooting some B-roll and some drone footage, and of course, I did a small video with Susan Spieler McNeil. Both of us just talking about the conference, and of course, it's going to be a good time. And to my listening audience, I really appreciate all the support. Thank you very much for supporting the Paradigm Matrix. And hit like or subscribe if you like the content.
Right.
We're really trying to put out some good shows out here. It's been also a struggle on my side because I am the one-man band now. I don't have the talents of a producer, like Miss Tina Marie over at KCOR. So it's basically a one-man band.
Well, you're doing good, Willie. You're doing good.
Well, I hope so. I keep getting encouraging words, but of course, I'm also fighting like everybody else, fighting the YouTube algorithm, and sometimes I think I'm not reaching the audience, but I believe I'm, slowly, reaching some people out there. And of course, I'm going to have some more guests, working on getting some more
I've been looking at your numbers. They are going up.
Well, I try not to look at them too much.
I know.
But it's amazing, from the beginning to where we are now, with the subscribership, and I'm not looking for anything, to putting any of this on the Patreon. I really not.
Right.
It's not my style, and I just, to manage something like that also, I do have a life, I do have a day job.
Right.
So.
In this field, you'd better.
Oh, yeah, you got to. And again, we're not here for any of that. You know what I mean? It's a passion. Right. It's a good passion. And of course, it's the very interesting people that we get to talk to.
Oh, Fred. That's the best part.
I mean, it's so amazing, with some of the real good people that you encounter, doing this this job that we do.
Right.
This job that doesn't pay at all.
Right. No.
Which I don't care.
But it's just fun. It's just fun to talk about it.
Oh yeah, of course, and of course, I will be having some merch out there. I've tried some experimental things, like the cups, okay, and things like that, But I happen to get the cups on one side and not the logo on the other. So, not that I gave those away, pass them out just because they were rejects, But I really wanted to spread them out and give them to the people who first supported, have always been, supportive, since my very first day, since 2018 when I started doing this.
Right.
Which was
someday we'll have to do a show on the things that make us angry in this field, but I don't know if people are ready to hear that.
Oh, like the ones that we're going to a complete vent.
Yeah.
A complete vent on the field, and some of the people that are really, I believe, making it harder for us.
Right.
They're really making it harder for us because we are trying to reach that audience that we're really not trying. We're not bullshitting them.
Right. We want the people that actually believe. Right.
Yes.
They don't want to believe. Oh my, this most amazing stuff, because not all of it's super amazing. But it happens. Correct. But the stuff is happening.
Hey, listen, I bet many authors here, okay, and but one thing I won't do, and you know that, Fred, is I'm not gonna sell you or try to push something that is not believable.
Right.
And some of the stuff is already tough to talk about.
I got I know.
Experiencers are usually the people who are very reserved.
Right.
And
you gotta be sensitive.
Really tough to talk about those experiences.
Can't use their names. You gotta be sensitive, because even though they share their stuff with us, doesn't mean they want to share it with the rest of the world.
Oh yeah.
In their time, it's not our story to tell.
True. Yeah, that is true. Fred, so really appreciate having you on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Paradigm Matrix.
Of course. Anytime.
And we'll get to do it again.
I hope so.
That's for sure.
All right.
Well, I'll see you on the 29th, all right?
You better believe it.
Of August.
All right, Willie.
All right, my friend.
All right. Thanks.
And for the listening audience, thank you very much. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Paradigm Matrix with your host, Willie Miranda. has been the Paradigm Matrix hosted by Willie and Miranda.